Let me tell you why I'm so happy. Because it looks like there's a new couple in Hollywood. Aaron, Pierre, that's Teyana. Aaron, Pierre, that's Teyana.
It all started on a Wednesday afternoon when a string of private text messages began making their rounds in a gossip blog inbox. The messages weren't just any random chatter. They were a raw, unfiltered glimpse into Aaron Pierre's mind, a mind that had been carrying resentment for far longer than anyone suspected. In those texts, Aaron poured out the truth he had been too afraid to say out loud. He told his friend he felt like he was suffocating in a life he hadn't signed up for. He admitted he felt like he was forced to be a stepdad to Teyana Taylor's kids, and he didn't want the responsibility anymore. He said bluntly that he was tired of pretending. When the blog published the screenshots, people couldn't believe their eyes. For months, fans had believed Aaron was the picture of patience, the loving man who stepped in when Teyana's family was in pieces. They'd watched him attend school recitals, throw a birthday party for Teyana's youngest, even smile wide in photos while holding both kids in his arms. The narrative had been simple. Aaron was a good man. But the leaked texts smashed that illusion to pieces in one afternoon. People shared the screenshots across every social platform you could name. Some called him a fraud. Some said he was finally being honest. But no one could deny how painful the words looked on the screen. "I'm not their dad," one message read. "I didn't make them. I'm tired of this." In another, he complained that Teyana expected him to act like her ex, Iman, even though they'd only been dating for a little over a year. He said he never asked to be a parent. He just wanted to be her partner. Teyana was out running errands when her phone started lighting up. The notifications wouldn't stop. One after another. Friends texting her links, fans tagging her, gossip accounts posting her children's faces with dramatic headlines about abandonment. In that moment, she felt the ground fall out from under her. She had been trying to keep things together for her family, and now the man she trusted was telling the world he wanted out. When Teyana got home, she shut herself in the bedroom. She stared at her phone for over an hour, trying to understand how it had all gone so wrong. She replayed every moment with Aaron, every time he told her he loved her kids, every moment he kissed them goodnight. It all felt like a lie now. Her heart ached not just for herself, but for her children, who had already been through so much upheaval. The next morning, Aaron returned to their house to pick up some clothes. Teyana waited for him in the living room, her arms folded tight across her chest. When he walked in, their eyes met, and there was nothing but hurt between them. She asked him why he said those things. She asked him how he could betray her and the kids in public like this. Aaron didn't shout. He didn't get defensive. He just looked exhausted. He told her he was tired of being held to expectations he never agreed to. He said he cared about her children, but he was tired of being called selfish when he needed space. He said he was tired of pretending to be ready for a role he knew he couldn't fill. The more he talked, the more Teyana felt the tears sting her eyes. He wasn't angry. He was done. And in some ways that hurt worse than any yelling ever could. After he left, Teyana stayed sitting on the couch, staring at the spot where he had been standing. She didn't move for a long time. It was almost evening before she picked up her phone again. She scrolled through the comments flooding her Instagram. Strangers were telling her she should have known better. Some were defending her. Some were defending Aaron. But none of them understood what it felt like to watch a person you trusted walk away from your children as if they were a burden. That night, her eldest came to her room. The child asked the question that made her chest tighten. "Is Aaron mad at me?" It was the thing she dreaded most. She gathered them in her arms and said no, of course not. But in her heart, she wondered if maybe that was part of the truth. Maybe Aaron wasn't mad at them, but he resented the responsibility. She felt like she'd failed to protect her kids from the fallout. 2 days later, Aaron posted a long statement on his Instagram. He said he wanted to set the record straight. He said he had never hated Teyana's kids, and he had tried to show up for them in every way he could. But he explained that he wasn't ready to be a father figure, and he didn't want to pretend anymore. He wrote, "I have to be honest with myself and with everyone. I'm not their dad, and it's not my place to keep stepping into shoes that don't fit me." The statement spread like wildfire. Some people applauded him for his honesty. Others accused him of cowardice. For Teyana, it felt like he was putting the final nail in the coffin of the life she thought they were building. She felt humiliated and betrayed, but most of all, she felt worried for her children. She knew they would see the headlines eventually. She couldn't protect them from everything. Meanwhile, Iman Shumpert, her ex, was reportedly furious. According to insiders, he called Aaron directly. The conversation lasted less than 5 minutes. Some sources said Iman told Aaron to never speak about his kids in public again. Others said Iman threatened him outright. The truth of that call would stay private, but everyone close to the situation confirmed that Iman was not about to let someone shame his children in front of the world. Fans speculated wildly about what would happen next. Some thought Teyana and Aaron would find their way back to each other. Others said the damage was too deep. For days, neither of them was seen together in public. Aaron started staying at a friend's place. Teyana stayed home, focusing on her work and her children. Friends of Aaron said he was relieved to have the truth out, even if it was messy. They described him as exhausted, like he had been carrying a weight for months. Friends of Teyana said she was devastated, but she was determined not to let this break her. She had been through too much already to let one man's fear ruin her sense of worth. The story reached every gossip outlet. Headlines screamed that Aaron had dumped Teyana's kids. Others insisted he was just setting healthy boundaries. Social media became a battlefield of opinions. Some said no one should expect a boyfriend to play stepdad so soon. Others said Aaron should never have gotten so involved if he wasn't ready. Everyone had something to say, and almost no one cared about the real people at the center of it. In the following weeks, Aaron remained silent, choosing not to engage further. Teyana returned to her routine, appearing at events with her children by her side. But even as she smiled for cameras, people whispered that she looked tired, that her eyes didn't shine the same way. Some said she was just putting on a brave face. One quiet afternoon, the paparazzi caught Teyana at a cozy cafe, sitting with a close friend. She was sipping her coffee when suddenly she noticed the cameras flashing from outside the window. For a brief second, her guard slipped. Her eyes revealed a deep exhaustion, the kind that comes from having your private life ripped apart and turned into public entertainment. You could almost feel the weight of the world on her shoulders. But then, like a pro, she straightened up, forced a tight, guarded smile, and kept chatting like nothing was wrong. Behind that smile, though, the pain was raw and real. It was the pain of being constantly scrutinized, of people twisting her story for clicks and likes. Privately, Teyana was in turmoil. She was wrestling with a whirlwind of emotions. Was she wrong to move on so quickly after Iman? Had she unknowingly asked too much of Aaron, expecting him to fill a space no one else could? The hardest question of all. Could she ever really trust someone new to love her children the way they deserved? The heartbreak wasn't just about herself. It was about protecting her family, her babies, from the heartbreak and chaos she had endured. When she opened up to her closest friends, Teyana admitted she was lost. She didn't know what she wanted anymore. Part of her still loved Aaron deeply, clinging to memories of better times. But another part of her burned with frustration and betrayal. Above everything, she wished she'd been more careful, with her heart with their hearts, trying to protect them from this kind of pain. Then, one quiet night, she shared a simple yet powerful message on her Instagram stories. Protect your peace. Protect your babies. No one else will. It vanished after 24 hours, but for those who caught it, those words said everything. It was a raw, unfiltered glimpse into her truth. While some fans still clung to hope that Aaron and Teyana might find their way back to each other, insiders whispered the opposite, that this time apart might be permanent. Neither Aaron nor Teyana confirmed or denied the rumors, but they seemed to share one unshakable priority. Their kids always came first, even if that meant they could no longer be a couple. A week after the drama broke, A reporter caught Aaron outside a gym and asked if he regretted what he said. Aaron paused for a long time before answering. He looked tired, as if the weight of all those headlines had finally settled on his shoulders. "I regret how it came out," he said quietly. "But I don't regret being honest." The video of that moment went viral. People dissected every word, every glance. Some said he looked like a man who knew he'd ruined something precious. Others insisted he looked relieved. Meanwhile, Teyana kept moving forward. She showed up to her daughter's school event alone, smiling and clapping louder than anyone when her child took the stage. When reporters tried to corner her afterward, she just shook her head and said, "No comment." But the story wasn't really over. It lived on in whispers, in speculation, in the minds of everyone who had watched their love story play out. People kept asking, was Aaron wrong to speak his truth? Was Teyana wrong to expect him to step into a father role so soon? The debates raged on, but for Teyana, there was no more time to waste on what-ifs. She had two little people who needed her to be strong. She closed the door on that chapter, even if it still ached every time she thought about it. She promised herself she would never again let someone into her life unless they were ready for all of it. Her kids, the good and the messy. She owed them that much. And as for Aaron, he disappeared from the headlines just as quickly as he had crashed into them. Some said he was working on himself. Some said he was dating someone new. But no matter where he ended up, one thing was clear. The story of Aaron and Teyana had taught everyone watching that love isn't always enough, and sometimes telling the truth comes with a cost no one is ready to pay. So as you sit here listening, ask yourself, if you were Aaron, would you have said those words out loud? Or would you have kept pretending? And if you were Teyana, would you have trusted someone to love your babies as their own? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think this story is over, think again, because in the world of love, fame, and heartbreak, nothing is ever really finished.